Hey L, what's up, baby? How you doing? Hey everybody, how we doing tonight? This is your boy Food Junkie coming at you with a little conversation I wanted to have. You saw the title, and the title goes as follows: Do you have the mindset of a global citizen? You probably wondered where I get that title from. You probably understand, wondering where that conversation is going to come from, where I'm going with this conversation. But you know, I live in Atlanta, and you know what's been going on the past couple of days in Atlanta. People have been talking about the spa shootings, the 8 dead, you know what I'm saying, the man arrested, how he was arrested, things of that nature. And in the past couple of days, I've been hearing a lot of different commentary, a lot of different conversations from Black people. And some of the conversations was now has kind of disturbed me. So I understand that people are not going to like what I've got to say. People's not going to understand it. People's not going to agree with it. But once again, as you guys know how I am, I don't care. This is about me, my feelings, my emotions, and I'm choosing to share them with you. But in doing so, let me just give you a couple brief background stuff. First off, you guys know that I have um, Asian, or specifically Cambodian, um, nieces and nephews. My oldest niece is Cambodian. My my oldest sister, married a Cambodian guy. They had 2 children. They're no longer together. They're divorced. The children are grown, but I still consider um, him my brother. You know what I'm saying? I consider his family my family because they are the family of my nieces and nephews. Then, um, so I have a really close bond with that. A lot of my inspiration for my design is Asian, from Thailand, Vietnamese to Japanese to Korean to Cambodian, a lot of that. A lot of my food flavor profiles comes from my favorite foods are Asian, come from the Asian aspect of the food diaspora. But what kind of pissed me off, listen to some of this commentary that's going on right now, and the lack of understanding or lack of knowledge that's spewing from people's mouths is you guys don't understand how close and how small this world actually is. You don't understand how small and how close knit everyone is together. We're all truly no more than 6 degrees of separation from each other. So while everyone was making a commentary about what happened and what I don't care about them, although my heart goes out to them, I really don't care because they don't care about us. X, Y, Z, da 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 da. Okay, we're going to get on that. We're going to touch on that in a second. But do you guys realize that people who live in Atlanta, you don't know who people know, how close people are to situations that you guys are talking about or trying to throw salt on because you're so ignorant or so stupid that you don't understand what's going on in the world? We'll get to that as well in a second. But quick little story. So while this all this conversation is going on yesterday about, or in the past couple of days about, well, we shouldn't, we should be more worried about us and not worry about them, this, that, and the third, da 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 da. Okay, fine, whatever. Do you not realize that one of the people that I work with, wife who was 7 months pregnant. Well, let me give you the story. So I go to work yesterday, and one of the people that I work with, one of the gentlemen I work with, is upset. I'm like, "Are you okay? Everything's good?" He like, "Well, yeah, but my wife called me earlier this morning, upset, and she's 7 months pregnant." I'm like, "Oh, is the baby okay? Everything's good?" He like, "Well, everything's fine on that aspect." But her best friend was one of the people who got murdered yesterday. So she called me upset, 7 months pregnant, and I can't leave work, but I'm trying to calm her down over the phone so that our child could be okay, which makes me upset because XYZ. So there's me, the guy I work with, his wife, and one of the victims. That in itself is 4 degrees of separation. Now, I'm not going to pull one of these little mercy things where, oh, I knew them so well. And no, I didn't know them at all. But I knew someone who knew someone that knew them. Which lead me to say that we don't know who we're offending, who we're talking about, where we're just spewing out, quote unquote, commentary on subjects that we know nothing about. Do you guys not realize that the violence towards Asian Americans has increased since old dude was voted out of office? Do you not realize that it has been a steady uprise and a steady uphill amount of violence towards Asian Americans? Do you not? Hey, Adelina, baby, how you doing? Do you not realize that? This right here was just a compilation, one of the first big compilations of the everyone really understanding that there has been a steady tick up towards violence towards Asian Americans. And like I said at the beginning of this, I have nieces and nephews who is part of that Asian experience. I have family members who is part of Asian American experiences. So when I hear Black people saying, oh, well, while my heart goes out to them was not, I really don't care. We should be hashtagging XYZ because they don't care about us. They haven't done anything to us. Not understanding, not knowing that there has been a steady tick upwards towards violence against Asian Americans in this country. See, what bothers me is this. We're so selfish, so self-involved that we don't realize that discrimination and hateful acts of violence towards one marginalized people is the same type of behavior towards all marginalized people. Let me give you a little bit of history lesson right quick, because since people seem to think they know everything and they don't know shit about Shaola, let's take some stuff that Black people are, I think I won't say known for, but that people think that only affects Black people. How many of you in this conversation or that will hear this understand affirmative action? Who is the biggest contributor or the biggest benefactor of affirmative action? Not what you hear in the news, not what you hear as talking points, but who actually is the biggest group of people who benefits the most from affirmative action? Do anyone know? Does anyone know? I know we hear a lot of, oh, well, affirmative action is for Black people, this and that. No. The biggest group of people who benefited the most and still to this day benefit the most from affirmative action are white women. White women are the biggest benefactors of affirmative action. And let me tell you how affirmative action was passed. Because when it was just Black people fighting for the equal rights, see, what a lot of y'all don't understand is that a lot of these movements, hey Fifi, baby, how you doing? A lot of these movements that's going on, you have to have other marginalized people join that movement in order for it to pass. Because we're only 13% of this country. Which means no one cares if a Black person of 13% is a marginalized people is treated a certain way. But when you start adding other marginalized people to the cause, The cause have a better chance of passing and picking up steam in order for it to make some type of movement, some type of something happen, something shake. So with affirmative action, they came together with the women empowerment movement, well, not women empowerment, but the women's rights movement, in order for them to both pass affirmative action. And we know that women's rights was not about Black women. It was about white women's rights. White women started realizing, oh, well, maybe if I could join onto this cause and have them put something in for us as well, under the disguise of XYZ, we also can get under the thumbnail and the foot of, quote unquote, our husbands, the oppressors. Now, we still want to sleep with our husbands and make sure that it's good, but we also want to have some power. So let's attach this aspect to what these people who are marginalized as well. And hopefully we can get more out of it. How do you think women was able to work at different places, go to school, do other things besides being a nurse or a teacher or a caregiver? Affirmative action is not for Black people. It was passed so white people, white women, can have more, do more, be freer. We're just the afterthought or collateral, one would say. So when I hear Black people screaming, well, they don't care about us being shot in the streets, no one say anything about that. Where do you think to say their names things come from? If we weren't like, and I heard somebody say, oh, well, it was after a day. Well, they was on the news all last night. How did we hear about Fidel Castro? How did we hear about Michael Brown? Well, how did we hear about Sandra Bland? Haven't those names also been in the news for months now? What if an Asian American person says, I'm tired of hearing about Sandra Bland? They will be called racist. They will be called everything under the book. Hey, Paulette, baby, how you doing? Well, just because a Black person says they're tired of hearing after a couple hours of something that's been going on, that's been a steady uptick since old dude got kicked out of office, voted out of office, I should say. So after 16 hours of hearing about some people who lost their lives, you're tired of hearing about it because you say that they don't care about Black people dying. All marginalized people should be fighting for marginalized people because you could be next. I told y'all this story a long time ago. I said this a long time ago. When the Blacks was fighting, no one said anything. Just let them die out. When the gays was being killed and murdered, no one said anything. When the Asians was being killed and murdered, no one said anything. When the Jews was being killed and murdered, no one said anything. When the Africans was being killed and murdered, no one said anything. Then when, another marginalized person or group start being attacked, they looked around. There was no one around to say anything because everyone has been silenced or died out or died down, because no one was fighting for anyone else, because they was worried about themselves. They was worried about what they have to lose, what they could be charged with, what they could be looked at as. It makes no sense when marginalized people don't fight for other marginalized people because of the color of their skin or because of what you think is done. My thing is this. Let's look at YouTube for example. Let's look at this sector of YouTube, for example. What do we see in this sector of YouTube? We see people fighting each other, doxing each other, doing all kind of bullshit to each other. What's up, Casey? How you doing, baby? You know, we see people doing the worst to each other, to their own people who looks like them. But then yet you want someone to fight for you when you're fighting against the very same person that looks like you. That could be there to be your support system when no one's fighting for you. Let you tell it. But yet we're on here talking mess, talking shit about each other, showing our lowest forms of selves towards one another. But then getting mad when no one wants to jump into the ring and save us. Not realizing that a lot of stuff that we have been because people have jumped themselves into the ring to save us. All those protests and marches that you've seen, look at those pictures. Are those all black faces in those pictures? Look at the show of solidarity that we had recently at the Black Lives Matter March. Were those only black faces? When these black men were killed, that was a global situation that people was protesting. Were all those only black faces? See, we get caught up in, oh, this sounds good. Let's get into the sensationalism, what's going on, what's not. Let's get into what I think the people want to hear. That's going to get me a little bit of money in my pocket and give me click and views. Opposed to looking at reality. Opposed to looking at what's really going on, what really happened. Do you think that 13% of the population really moves and shakes things by themselves? Do you really think that 13% of the population really moves and shakes things by themselves? I'm asking questions. Because I want people to start thinking about what they're putting out here. Think about what they say. Because if I was an Asian American person, and I heard someone says, why are we supporting them and hashtagging Asian Lives Matter and XYZ does and other was not save Asian lives and things of that nature. First thing I would say is, fuck you. Let's be honest about it. You don't care about me. Why should I care about you? That's what the title is, what the title is. Do you have the mindset of a global citizen? Because a global citizen don't only think about them, their race, and what they can gain from it. They think about the world as a whole. They think about, how can I make a change for the world to be better, for everyone involved? For people who look like me and for people who don't look like me. Oh, yeah, people not gonna like this, but I don't care. Like I said, it needs to be said. There needs to be some type of voice out here saying that we all don't think like that. We all don't feel like that. Yes, I'm upset about what happens in the Black community. It pisses me off. But at the same time, I can be pissed off at what's happening in the Black community, but also have compassion towards what's happening in someone else, another marginalized community, another marginalized situation. People's mad because, oh, well, they put their stores in our neighborhoods on purpose. You're the dumb person who think that, well, I'm going to go here and support them anyway, although I know they don't like me. If you know or think that someone don't like you, why are you going to their store to shop? Why are you putting money in their pockets? Why are they thriving in the community that you say they don't care about? Because it's people like you who choose to patronize the store, the location, for your nails, for your hair, for your glue, for your lashes, for your makeup. Half of the $1,400 that people received, I guarantee you, go into some type of other ethnicity pockets. This $1,400 that you guys have or gotten in the past couple of weeks, how much of that is going to Black-owned businesses, Black-owned products, supporting the Black community, or saving it for a rainy day, opposed to buying crab legs? I'm just asking these questions. See, you can want someone to save you more than you want to save yourself. You can't want someone to do for you more than you are willing and able to do for yourself. What have you done in the past 6 months to keep these Black slain individuals out there in the public? If you want them to be in the public so much, or are you sitting back and waiting for someone else to do the work for you that you think should be done? See, it's easy to point out problems. It's a little bit more difficult to come up with a solution for said problem. It's so ridiculous to hear people who are marginalized every day of their lives talk mess, talk crap, and be unsympathetic and apathetic towards another marginalized person. It makes no sense to me. Watching a marginalized individual or a marginalized group of people down another marginalized group of people. In the Asian American community, you see them shopping, buying, supporting within their own community. So if they gain wealth doing that, shouldn't that be something that we as a people look at and ask questions and make that a model that we should adopt as well and adapt to? Do we do that? No. We want people to sit back and give us something, hand us something. Here's $1,400. Like I said, you can tell when a bunch of Black people got some free money because there's not a big screen TV nowhere to be found in Walmart. The crab legs are gone. All the 28-inch weaves are gone from the Asian places. And people be upset about this. I don't care. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Roll down any quote unquote hood neighborhood. Hey, what's up, Ashton? How you doing? In the next couple of weeks, I guarantee you all you will see is big screen TV boxes and a bunch of bullshit in their trash. Because they got a little extra money in their pocket and it done burnt a hole in it. Check their accounts. It's empty again. They're waiting for the next handout. I'm just saying, make this make sense. You're mad at a community who chooses to shop, buy, make prosperous their own community. And then when a tragedy happens in that community, well, what about us? What about us? What about you? You're doing it to yourselves for the most part. Look at what happens on here. We're clowning each other. We're roasting each other. We're gagging each other. We're doxing each other. I was just on the way home. We'll listen to Tracy, one of her lives. And I don't know who she was doing, what she was doing. But there's this little boy that was on Bigo, I guess. And I guess he chose to have sex online, well, it's not on whatever, Twitter, whatever it's going to be. And someone from Bigo sent that screen recording to the dean of students at the college that he went to. Now, mind you, he made a choice, and in that choice, there's consequences for those choices. But he was on a scholarship for track. He was running track. He was on scholarship for that. So someone disliked him so much on here that they sent that screen recording or that screenshot or that screen, whatever, graph to the dean of students. And this young man lost his scholarship. A black young man was pulled out of track practice and told he needs to go home because he lost his scholarship. Because he chose to, in his personal life, have a sex tape or have some type of sexual interaction online. Now, I don't know if it was part of the honor system code that he signed that he wouldn't do stuff like that once not, or whatever he signed. But how much you want to bet the person who turned him in or did that was a black person? Just like we do what we do on this side of YouTube. Well, sorry. Yeah, I can say we. I don't do it, but I'm not exempt because I'm over here. I watch it every once in a while. So how is it that we want someone else to do more for us, be there for more for us, than we're not there for each other? You have a young black man who got a scholarship to run track in college. Someone don't like him on social media. So what they do? Turn in what he did on social media to his college. And now he has to fight to be in school if he even going to do that. Because based on his commentary that's not what he wants to do. Because he don't want to, he's just going to go home with his tail tucked between his legs. But yet, we shouldn't have empathy for another marginalized people because how we are treated. But yet we don't look at how we treat each other. We don't look at what we support from each other. We don't look at how what we do to each other dictates how other people treat us. If they don't care about each other, why should I care about what they do? If they don't care about making sure each other are safe, why should I make sure that they're safe? But yet we want everyone else to riot and protest when something happens with us. But yet when something happens to someone else, well, that ain't us. That ain't me. What if everybody who wasn't and didn't look like us had that mentality and that attitude? Like I said, look through the pictures of history, of riots, of protests, of marches. Are there only black faces in those marches? It may not be as many as you want of other people in those marches, but they were there. Jane Austen. Jane Austen, the white lady, old lady was not who did the brown eye, blue eye experiment. So she's not doing anything for black people to make sure that we're equal. There's no other person other than a black person who's stepping out there and haven't been doing it for years and decades. She's been doing it since the 50s. So just because you want commentary, you're going to kind of denounce what's been happening with Asian Americans since the voting out old dude. Well, it ain't us. They don't care about us. How do we know about all the people who have been murdered? How long ago was Trayvon Martin? We're still bringing him up. Y'all are still pissed off at Dovey because she said that she gave Andrew Zimmerman a ride. And how long was Trayvon Martin? And y'all still upset with that bullshit. Well, no one cares about us. If no one cared, we would have forgot about Trayvon Martin. We would have forgot about Rodney King. We would have forgot about Emmett Till. See, say their names and understand not everything's going to go the way we want it to go all the time. But that don't mean that you stop fighting. That don't mean you stop caring about someone else. It doesn't mean that you stop doing what you need to do to ensure that the future is better than the past. For everybody. Not just for the ones who look like you, or look like me, or look like us. We're all part of one race. That's the human race. And when we allow someone to be degraded, diminished in any way, shape, or form, we're telling the world or the enemy or whomever it's okay to do the same thing to us. And when we choose to sit back and allow it to happen within our own communities, our own neighborhoods, we're telling people that it's okay for you to come into my neighborhood and do the same thing. You go to the corner store, what's not, and they come in, hey brother, how you doing, brother? No, I'm not your brother. You know what I'm saying? See, it's easy to play like you have this whole black power, black empowerment situation. But are you willing to be inconvenienced for that? Are you willing to drive a couple more minutes out of your way to shop black owned? Or is it there for the convenience in the neighborhood? See, y'all don't want to hear all this. Y'all want people to come here roasting and gagging and laughing and choking because, oh well, I'm trying to be. I want everything to be funny. I want to throw my little snide comments here and there. That's cute, but learn some history. Understand what's going on outside your window, as Nika says. Do you not realize that, like I said, there's been an uptick of violence against Asian Americans since Trump was voted out of office? This is just the first incident that has gotten national media coverage. But there's been an onslaught of violence towards Asian Americans for the past at least 6 months. Y'all not realize that? We're not doing we're not looking and reading things about that. If it's not involving this bullshit that goes on in this beef sector, who said what about who? Y'all not realize that there's a lot of shit going on in this world that y'all don't even know about because y'all so caught up on who said what about who on YouTube. People telling the same stories day after day after day after day. But y'all holding that as the holy grail. So when something like this happens, you don't realize, oh damn, that this is just a compilation of shit that's been going on for the past couple of months. This is some bullshit that's been happening for a while now. Damn. Ooh. Let me pay attention to it. Let me figure it out. You think that, you know what I'm saying, people will have a little bit more intelligence and sense of self and sense of understanding, especially being a marginalized people, knowing that someone else is marginalized, that can also affect me. It has affected me. It has happened to me and my community already. So I should have a little bit more empathy for the next person who has experienced something that my community has experienced as well. Not, oh well, they don't care about us. They kill us in the street. Okay, is it okay for? Is it okay? Because it happened to you. Is it okay? You have no empathy for what happened to someone else. I mean, two wrongs really truly don't make a right. And you thinking that um violence towards someone is okay because it happened to you or happened to someone you knew or happened to a community that you're involved in. No, it's not okay. I don't ever want to be so hardened to where I think that it's okay or I'm going to not be as touched or moved by violence happening to someone, unnecessary violence happening to someone or people or group of people. I even have enough compassion to not want the young man who did it to have been shot down also. Like, have we become a society so fucked up in the head and the mindset do we think that it's always gonna be an eye for an eye? Granted, yeah, we can all say this what we want was not, and some of us may do that. But as a society, that's not what it should be. That should not be the go-to. You hurt me, now let me hurt you. Are y'all so caught up in this bullshit on YouTube where y'all really don't have consequences for your actions? To where you think that it's okay just to shut out anything or spread out anything or spew anything? To spew all types of venom and ugliness? Because there's no consequences for saying something on here? I just hope and pray that none of y'all have to deal with the consequences of your actions that you have done on here. But once again, let me stop saying it because a lot of y'all are dealing with that. Look at your life. Look at your lifestyle. Look at how you live. I'm sorry to say it. It may be harsh and ugly, whatever, but it's true. It's so easy for you to be nasty and ugly and vindictive and hateful and vile because that's how you're living. It's so easy for you to discard someone else who's marginalized because you have been discarded because you're marginalized. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand where did all this ugliness come from? Breeding a culture of bullshit and nonsense and unnecessary actions towards your fellow human being. Hey, Donna Hill, baby. How you doing, sweetheart? What's up, Andy Cakes, baby? How you doing? Thank you, baby. It just makes no sense. Oh, I haven't been live a lot, baby. I've been really detoxing myself from this bullshit on YouTube. I just had to put this out there because it makes no sense to me. Like, I sit back and look at things and just watch people. I just shake my head because, like, damn, like, I don't get it. For someone who actually sees the world as it is, not as I want it to be, I don't care how much smiling and grinning and laughing and joking you're doing, what's not. I see the pain. I see the degradation. I see the destruction of self, the destruction of morality, the destruction of integrity. And I don't get it. Aren't you tired of being in pain? Aren't you tired of being hurt? Aren't you tired of showing the lowest part of who you are? Don't you truly want to uplift some people? Don't you really truly want to do something besides talk a bunch of mess about people that you don't know? Don't you really want to help someone? I understand we all come on here for entertainment, but damn, at some point, enough is enough. I don't want to be entertained to the point to where I'm being blinded to what's going on around me. That I put my head in the sand and let things happen. Then when something blow up crazy, I want to protest and argue about it or be upset about it. When I could have done something initially if I kept my eyes open and my head on a swivel. I don't know, y'all. Like I said, I'm different. I'm a different individual. I'm a different being. Like me, hate me. I don't care one way or the other. I love me because I know that I'm a good person. I know that I have the best interest of the world at my fingertips, which means that I want the best for myself because I can't show the world the best if I'm not my best. It all starts with self-love. It all starts with self-respect. It all starts with self. It all starts with making sure that you're the best person that you was meant to be. Putting forth positive energy, putting forth self-respect, leading by example, showing people what you want them, what you want to experience, what you want to be around. Does it mean you're perfect? No. But damn, you should be more perfect than imperfect. You choose to come on here and show the worst part of yourself. You choose to come on here and talk shit about people that you don't know. You choose to come on here and let the world know that you don't have any type of empathy for somebody else who's marginalized. So why should the world have any type of empathy for you, another marginalized individual? They're not going to. They shouldn't. Why are you asking for something that you're not capable of giving, willing to give? When we have conversations only with people who think like us, who believe what we believe, we basically have conversations with ourselves, which nothing gets done, talking to yourself. You should be open and willing to have conversations with people who may not necessarily live your experience, but still can understand and have compassion for what you've been through. If you don't understand that concept, there's nothing for me to say. That's why I don't say much anymore. Because these conversations, oh, well, white people shouldn't talk about black people and black people issues. Why not? They're part of the problem. Why not make them part of the solution? They was there to help a lot of things move forward, be it if they wanted to or they didn't. Not everyone should think the same. Not everyone should think the way one person thinks. Not every black person thinks the same. Hey, Shaquila, baby, how you doing, sweetheart? It's not for us to all be a monolithic type of individual, to have one way of thinking, have one way of moving. God gives us free will. Why are we taking it away from each other? Makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense whatsoever that we as a people, as a marginalized people, can have compassion for other marginalized people. Are we so hardened to what has happened to us, what we have experienced as a culture, as a people, that we can't see or have empathy for someone else, another culture? Are we so hardened as a people that we can't see outside of our own pain to see someone else's pain and try to help them through that? And hopefully, in turn, they would do the same for us. Don't do it because we expect it to happen, but just being a good global citizen, hopefully, it will happen. And if it doesn't, don't let that beat you down anymore. Because you know what you did was good. You put out good energy out there, was not, and it's going to come back for you. Now, don't be a fool. Don't be an idiot. Don't get hit in your face 3 or 4 times before you start blocking and ducking or hitting back. But still, don't lose your compassion. Don't lose your empathy for your fellow human being. It makes no sense to me. Like, ooh, it saddens me because, like, y'all don't see what type of energy you're putting out there. I'm like, James, this food is cold as hell right now. You know, Don't put out negative stuff and then be surprised or shocked when negative stuff comes back at you. Don't put out negative vibes and then be confused or shocked when those same vibes come back at you. You let out your mouth say, well, don't hashtag save Asian lives. Well, it's not. Or Asian lives matter, whatever the hashtag is. I don't know it. I'm not using it because I don't do hashtags, period. But, well, I don't do hashtags like that, I should say. But when someone questions why are you saying Black Lives Matter, you want to be, oh, well, they don't understand, they're racist, but yet you don't understand why someone will say Asian lives matter. Not as a comeback for Black Lives Matter, but as just, well, this happened in the Asian community. We know that in the Asian community, well, it's not Asian American community, there has been an uprise of violence towards us. Yes, our lives matter too. Well, why would they say that? Because it does. You know, have the mindset of a global citizen. Have a mindset not just of your community. Was not because you. First of all, it starts with you. It starts with you. It starts with your household. It's you, your household, your community, your city, then hopefully your state, then the world. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. It starts small. It starts with you understanding, you connecting, you not compromising, you I'm saying getting it together was not being compassionate within yourself, for yourself. And then when you do that, was not, you can spread that energy out there to the world. Because what you're giving the world. You're not giving the world some nonsense. You're not giving the world some rhetoric that doesn't belong. You can still be upset and fiery about what's going on in the Black community, but you can also have passion and compassion for what happened in the Asian community and be understanding and empathetic toward that. And the difference between Dylan Ruth and what he did and what this man did, and why they wanted to add extra security around these spas and these atmospheres and places was not. Dylan Ruth didn't go to 3 different churches within an hour and kill people. What he did, was went in, fellowshipped, had people get comfortable with him, and then shot up the place, and then fled. He didn't go one place, shoot up 6 people, killing 4. Go to a second place, shooting up 3 people, and then go to across the street to another place and shoot someone else, and then run. That's the difference. That shows a pattern that he was escalating. He was doing something that he was targeting a certain group of people. So yes, let's protect this certain group of people in this moment. That's the difference. Just saying. Hey Vashti, baby, how you doing, sweetheart? I just wish people would get out their own way, get out their own mindset sometimes, and actually look and listen to what's going on. You're not a detective. You're not a crisis manager. You're not a lawyer. You're not a fucking doctor. Stop giving out advice that is unsolicited, and stop trying to put out your own personal opinions as someone who sits on YouTube and talk all fucking day. Half of y'all barely leave y'all goddamn houses, but yet y'all have all this information that y'all think that y'all know what y'all talking about. Shut up sometimes. Shut up. I'm just saying, like, it's irritating. Hey Mia, baby, how you doing, sweetheart? How you been? You know, it makes no sense. I miss you too, baby. But sometimes I need to get away from the bullshit and nonsense. I have to protect my energy. I can't be around this nonsense all damn day. Listen to people telling the same damn story, doing the same damn thing, and ain't getting nowhere. Shit. I found this shit making me upset in real life. I can't do it. But yeah, we need to be very mindful about that. You know, it's upsetting like when a marginalized person don't have the compassion for another marginalized person was not. That's just sad to me. That's just sad to me. Exactly, Vashti. Exactly, baby. That's what I'm saying. And then people wondering, oh, why would they send out the FBI? Was not for these people, was not. Because it's the pattern have shown that it's been a coordinated attack against a certain community. So yes, within a short period of time, yes, let's make sure that these people are protected for now. Like stop being so hardened to what is going on, or what has happened, to where we can't see what's happening right now. Yes, we know that what's going on in the black community is horrendous, but we also know that this country has been designed, and the forces have been designed, such as the prison force and the police force, has been designed to capture and kill black people. Let's not act like we don't know what the slave patrols was. That's the modern day police force. Like I was saying, if people don't understand that, um, what's it called? Just mentioned, not apartheid. Well, what was the word I said earlier? Affirmative action. Affirmative action is for white women. They are the greatest benefactor of affirmative action. Yeah, black people have gotten some things from affirmative action, was not, but the large group of people who have profited and benefited most from affirmative action has been white females. If you don't know that and recognize that, was that, I can't help you. Yes, baby, stay prayed up. You know, and it's just like I said, I mean, and I say that granted, I think that everyone should be trying to help everyone across the board. But at the same time, like I said, I don't want anyone to give me anything. Don't give me nothing. Just don't stand in my way when I'm trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like people want people to hand them stuff all the time. Don't hand me anything. Just don't stand in my way when I'm trying to reach for it. Don't push my hand back. Don't pull my coattails. Don't do none of that stuff. Don't hinder me from getting what is mine, or what I want to be mine, or what I want. Don't hinder me. I don't want you to hand me anything. I don't want you to do. I just want you to just get out my way. If you're not here to help or to assist, you know what I'm saying? Don't hinder me. I don't understand how people get so caught up in their own personal trauma and emotions that they think that, you know what I'm saying, they shouldn't help someone else who may be marginalized in a moment. And not saying that, you know what I'm saying, where I'm over here saying Kumbaya, my Lord, and holding hands and singing and swaying. No. But I can recognize that, you know what I'm saying, in the moment people are hurt. Like I said, um, the guy at my job, his wife was the best friend of one of the people who was murdered. We don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know his wife. I barely know him. But the point is, in the moment that he was hurting and I saw that he was in pain and he was not quite right, I reached out to him and asked him, well, was he okay? And listened to his story. Even if, you know what I'm saying, for those couple of minutes that he told his story was not to me, was a help. That's all that. I don't have to say anything negative or, well, you know what I'm saying, they shooting us too, so shit, hell. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. Watch I feel bad for, you know what I'm saying? No. Just listen. And don't put your own 2 cents into it. Like, I mean, I don't understand. Like, we don't always have to have to insert our opinions on everything, especially if the opinion is sort of negative and it's going to kind of bring down the mood. You know, people are going to say to me, "What this opinion I have right now? I should keep it to myself." But at the same time, it needs to be said. Not everyone is so hardened by what we experience as a people that is not going to allow me to have compassion for someone else or another group of marginalized people. Like y'all forget, y'all fail to realize, not too long ago, several decades ago, there was concentration camps for Japanese people in this country. A couple of years ago, there was concentration camps for Hispanic children. If we don't know these things, if we don't understand these things, don't recognize these things, do we not realize that these things can happen to us? If we're not aware of what happened and how it happened and how conversations happen was not, it can happen to us. We could be in concentration camps. Like, come on now. I mean, thank you, Sheila, baby. I appreciate that. It was like I said. I mean, I don't know him like that. I don't know his wife like that. But I know that his wife is 7 months pregnant, and she called him upset because her best friend was one of the people who lost their lives in this senseless shooting. That alone is enough for me to have compassion for the situation. That alone, just knowing that someone 4 degrees away from me was murdered, 3 degrees away from me, 2 degrees away from me knew this person. That in itself is enough for me to be compassionate in a senseless massacre. I don't have to know you. I don't know how you look. I don't know how his wife look. I don't know what color his wife is. None of that. She could be white, Hispanic, black, whatever. All I know is that this is a black man that was upset. I asked him, was he okay? He gave me his story. My heart went out to him. My condolences went out to his wife and the people's family was not. And that's all it was. And then I come on YouTube and hear people talk about, well, I don't understand why these celebrities are doing this hashtag, and black people dying all over the place. Huh? Do we not have a whole memorial of with black people names who have died recently? Do we not know the names of the black people who have died recently? How do we know that? We weren't there. It was in the papers. It was on the news. It got national coverage. People are still talking about it. And we want people to have empathy and sympathy for us and compassion for us, but we can't have compassion and empathy and sympathy for someone else. Another group of marginalized people who have been targeted. Discrimination just doesn't happen to black people. Discrimination happens across the board. And when we're not aware of that, when we're not cognizant of that, we lose sight. But it ain't me. Well, it could be you. And don't you want someone to fight for you if it is you? Don't you want someone to have compassion for you when it is you or if it is you? Don't you want to have compassion for someone? Don't you want someone to have compassion for you? I definitely hear you, Vashti, baby. Sad to say, but the media is a concentration camp of the worst kind because it's mental. Right. Exactly. You're right. The media only shows you what they want you to see. They only produce what they want you to see. And they spin it to evoke an emotion, good, bad, or indifferent. And when you know that was, now you don't let the media sway you. You take from it what you can take from it and get from it. But yeah, you just can't think that, saying that everything in this world is about one person, one race. You definitely have to be mindful and have your eyes open and your head on the swivel, making sure that you're catching everything. But yeah, it's like when I hear that from us, not having compassion for other marginalized people was not, it leads me to wonder, lead me to ask, who's going to be there for us when push comes to shove. Actually, you just speaking all kind of good stuff today, baby, this morning. Exactly. You're absolutely right about that. Absolutely right, baby. Absolutely right. Makes no sense. And like that, and people don't realize that was not like being cooped up, being locked up, being put away from people for so long, for over a year now with this whole pandemic situation. We have become desensitized to what's going on. And then, like you said, with all the racial stuff that's been happening while the pandemic has been going on, was not any outbursts and outpouring of things is crazy. We need to be aware of that was not like it's a mental thing. It's a mental condition that we need to like. A lot of people aren't strong mentally. A lot of people aren't ready mentally to deal with what we're dealing with right now. You know, and if you're not aware of that, if you're not cognizant of that, well, it's going to put you in a place to where we're at right now, basically. You know, as a whole. You know, I don't know, y'all. Sometimes I think I'm just a little bit too different. Sometimes I care too much and I don't care enough all at the same time. I care too much and I don't care enough. You know, I want people to be happy with themselves, but I want you to be your best self. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be something that, that help the world as a whole. Put forth stuff that's, what I'm saying, helping people be their best selves. Put forth information and content and context that helps people be something more than what they are, something better than what they are. You know, like I said, no one they're perfect, but damn, at the same time, I know when to step back and chill. Yeah, but I mean, definitely, baby. I mean, like I said, I mean, like people don't like this. They want you to be up here snapping and screaming and yelling and cussing and fussing and acting a fool and, and showing the worst part of who you are to make them feel better about who they are. I can't do that. I can't show the world the worst part of me in order for the world to feel better about who they are. I can't do that. Because I understand that, this is not, you know, I don't know. I have no idea, but, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't want much. I don't come on here and say that, whatever, what I'm saying, just ask the questions and have a little conversation. Because, I mean, I heard, what I'm saying, about 6 people say disparaging things or things that I took as disparagingly was not about the situation. And I'm like, well, y'all don't understand that, these are real life people that's going through this. Not just the victims and the victim families, but there's people who they had friends, they had co-workers, this is traumatic. You go to work just to do your job, and someone comes into your place of business and kills you because the color of your skin or your ethnicity. That's serious. And then for people to question why people with affluence or some type of social media impact are coming together saying, what I'm saying, let's look up for the people. It's not, you don't understand that? I don't get it. You know, I just don't get it. Yeah, I know that shit. I know, baby. Yeah, it was like sometimes I wish people will grow a little faster. You know what I'm saying? Learn a little faster and be more cognizant of the lessons that is being taught to them. Because once you don't learn the lesson, you're going to repeat it over and over and over again. You know, sometimes I just need to. I just wish that we will move forward a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that we are truly grasping the lessons that we were meant to learn, so we can get past that lesson and move forward. You know, it seems like as a people, was not we go through this little cycle where we all into it for a couple of weeks, or it's not a couple, maybe a couple of days. The next thing you know, we don't move past it. Then when it happens again, we're outraged again. If we would learn from the lesson previously, we probably wouldn't be at the same place again. You know, learn from mistakes, learn from the past. Make sure that we're applying the lessons that we learn. When I pray, I'm like, I thank you for for helping me learn this lesson was that, but please help me to apply the lessons that I've learned as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just, learn the lesson. Help me apply that lesson that I learned. Help me be able to, move forward. And I always say, don't only work with me, was not work on me, with me, and through me. You know what I'm saying? Always, making sure that, I'm the vessel that I want to be. I'm the person that, that you meant for me to be, you know, and hopefully it's the same person that I want to be, which is a good person, a person that helps the world be a better place. Like I said, my goal is always to leave this place better off than when I came into it. My place isn't to hurt the world or make people upset and mad. But if people get upset and mad, that has nothing to do with me. I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm saying I think I'm saying what I need to say. You know, I just don't understand how people could be so lacking of compassion and empathy for other marginalized people. You know, definitely need to be, saying more cognizant of what we put out there and how we say certain things. I understand we're all quote unquote black power, but at the same time, black people didn't get where we are by ourselves. Like, what I'm saying? There there's no movement where black people got where we are by ourselves. There's always been someone else helping out, another race helping out, giving insight. You know what I'm saying? Be it from the side by side or be it from the outskirts. There's always been someone else helping us out. We never just been on our own. And we also did a lot of hurt inside ourselves. Did y'all watch the movie The United States versus Billie Holiday? Y'all watch that movie? Y'all know that the black guy that worked for the FBI was the one that was inside that actually helped take her down. Same thing with Malcolm X. I'm just saying. Do you not realize that there has been black people infiltrating other black people organizations, was not, in order to take them down? I'm just saying. Like, we gotta think about stuff like that. There's always been someone within our own culture, our own race, our own people now who does stuff to take us down, hoping that will get them more affluence or whatever the case may be, or whatever they think they're gonna get with someone else. And just be mindful of that. But yeah, y'all, I need to go upstairs, take a shower, and go to bed. I want to thank y'all so much for being here tonight. This is just something, a very somber conversation, whatever I want to have with you guys, because I just was tired of hearing people just, be so insensitive towards what's going on with other people. You know what I'm saying? We need to be very mindful and cognizant of that. What is that she's saying, baby? Hmm. It really have, like, social discord has been very crazy. Mm-hmm. Yep. You're absolutely right about that, Vashti. Absolutely right, baby. Yeah, you know, the norm, like I said, this isn't the norm. Like I said, I know this may be a lot of people's new normal, but this is not the norm. What we're going through right now is not the norm. And like I said, when this first happened, people are gonna have to. This is gonna be studied, like in the future. This pandemic situation and the mentalities and how things change, the fact that a lot of us people are losing social skills was not mixed with just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Not having that compassion, that human connection. You know what I'm saying? So you can have that mentality of having compassion for someone else. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, y'all, let me go upstairs and take a shower and get myself into bed. I want to thank you guys for being here. You know, I love you guys for being here. Thank you guys so much for having this conversation with me. Crab in a barrel. Mm. You know what I'm saying? But you know, as always, you know it's not important that I love you guys. It's more important that you love yourself. You love someone else. You respect yourself, and you definitely respect someone else, you guys. Um, and to be mindful that, you know, we as a marginalized people need to definitely have empathy, sympathy, and compassion for other marginalized people. Because if we don't have compassion and empathy for each other when we really truly need it, there possibly will be no one around to give it to us. Y'all have a great day. Until next time, you guys, if you haven't liked the video already, please like the video on the way out. This is your boy Food Junkie, and I will talk to you crazy kids some other time. Until then, you have a great day. Peace, y'all. Love you.